The Dershow.
A client came to me and he said, I need you to represent me. Interesting case. It was a RICO case. I said, all right, but here's my fee. I think it was, I don't remember, $15,000 back in the day, long time ago. And he said, sure, I'll bring it to you tomorrow. And the next day comes and he comes with a pizza box filled with $20 bills. And I said, I don't take cash. Go to the bank, get a bank check. And the guy says, we don't do banks. I thought he would say next, we only hold them up. We don't really deal with them. We don't do banks. I said, I don't do cash. But if I did do the cash, because obviously I want to pay tax on every penny that I earn. If I did do cash, the first thing I do is, take out my camera, photograph the cash, put it in a file, indicate how much it was, and then pay my taxes on it. That's what lawyers do. That's what good lawyers do. That's what honest lawyers do. They either don't take cash, or if they do take cash, they go to the bank and they fill out a form. There's a form you fill out if you deposit cash. That's the way to do it. There's just no way that this woman merely had an apparent conflict of interest. She had a legitimate, real, direct conflict of interest. Now, the judge made an interesting finding. He said, again, CNN said the exact opposite. CNN's people assured their listeners, you must, under Georgia law, find an actual conflict, not the appearance of a conflict. Well, the judge looked at all the cases and said, no, that's not true. I can disqualify her if I find an appearance of conflict of interest, and I do find an appearance of conflict of interest. You'd think the next sentence would be, and therefore I disqualify her. But he says, but I don't have to disqualify her under an appearance of a conflict of interest. I have the discretion to do it. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to exercise my discretion to disqualify her. I'm going to give her a choice. You have this great choice. Either you can be disqualified or you can fire your former lover, Nathan Wade. What did the judge think she would do? The whole office would be disqualified. So, of course, she cans Nathan Wade. He's now out, made his $750,000. Not a bad take for not even trying the case. The big loser in that, of course, is Donald Trump. He would have been much better off if Nathan Wade tried the case. Maybe they'll get a real lawyer now to try the case instead of somebody who was picked because of his sexual relationship with the prosecutor. But this case just is a scandal, and I hope it's not over. Now, I don't know the technicalities of Georgia law. Every state is different as to whether a decision not to disqualify a district attorney is immediately appealable. It is in some jurisdictions. And if it is in Georgia, they ought to appeal that immediately. It's called either a writ of mandamus or a collateral appeal. But there's mechanisms by which you can sometimes appeal what is a final judgment within a case. This is a final judgment within a case. The final judgment is she stays, she's not disqualified. That's pretty darn final. Or the final judgment is he's disqualified. That's pretty darn final. So there's that option. The judge mentions other options as well. Well, you can report it to this committee, that committee, to the bar. Well, I hope the Trump lawyers will do that. And maybe the bar will have the cojones that he didn't have and say, look, as a matter of legal ethics, you can't continue to prosecute a case when you've received payments in the form of travel and when the case may have been influenced by giving him work to do that filled his pockets, from which he took some money and gave it to you in the form of tickets for vacation. So it's possible that the Bar Association or the Senate committee or somebody else will look into it. If this case goes forward with Fani Willis having any role to play, it will be a scandal, a disgrace, an abomination to the law,